for making your arms, you're going to need your doll jersey, you'll need some stretch machine needles in your machine to sew your arms, you'll need a dotting tool to ease out and smooth away the ridges of the seam, you'll need your toy grade stuffing and some hemostats to help you with ease to stuff the doll's arms. So I've sewn my two arms onto my piece of fabric, both at the same time. So it's much easier to do it like that, and that will fit on to the piece of fabric that you have. So just separate them. Separate the two arms. And then we're going to pink the seam right back close to the stitch line. So the arms have been pinked, and as you can see, my opening is now at the side, the back part of the arm, the top side. I don't do the opening on that curved bit anymore. It's much easier to have your opening on the back side of the arm. Okay, so next thing to do is to turn them right side out. So just pinch a bit of the hand up, grab your hemostats, pop that in and lock in place, then they're not going anywhere, and bring it up and out through. Then after it's turned the right way round, take your dotting tool and go on in and ease those seam ridges out, paying particular attention to that little thumb area there, so get that nicely pushed out into that nice little thumb shape. So work your way around both your arms with your dotting tool. So onto the stuffing. So I've got my little gap there at the side where I'm going to stuff. I've got my toy grade stuffing and my hemostats, and I just open that hole a little bit and poke the stuffing in. Send it right down to the bottom. So it's going right into the hand, and just using the hemostats, push it in, get that nice hand shape defined. Take another lot. In it goes. Just going into the back of the hand. And then take a small little bit. This is going to go into the thumb. Push that thumb out so it's got nice shape to it. And then continue to stuff up the arm. Make sure that you overlap your stuffing as you go. If you want to refer to the original video series to see how that's done, then please do. So I'm coming up to the top of the arm now. Just want a small little bit. Just a little bit more. And then what you need to do is you need to, now after you've gone up to the top of the arm, you need to return it back into the shoulder part of the arm. So just take your hemostats and push it up into that area there, and then that excess, that can just go in there on the side of the arm. Push that up into the curve of the arm. Like so. Now you can see that the tops of the arms are quite thin. Don't overstuff that, otherwise she'll end up looking like a Michelin man with great big shoulders on her arms. So it needs to be quite lightly stuffed at the top there of her arm. So now I've fastened on my thread, and I fastened it on inside on the seam allowance, and I've just brought the thread through to the top side, and I'm now going to do a little mattress stitch all the way along that opening. So from one side to the other, pick up a little stitch, back over to the other side, make sure that your thread is parallel, to the other side, tiny little stitches. I'm going to work along all that little edge there to close that off. I've come to the end there now, so I'll just do one extra stitch, and then I'm going to bring that thread up to the top, ready for sewing on to the body. So I'm just going to take that up, and then in that seam area there, I'm just going to do 3 little stitches just to sort of fasten that thread off. And then that thread is then kept on there ready to attach to the body. Now we're going to sew her arm onto her body. Okay, so making sure that you've got the right arm for the right side of the body, so that the arm's curved towards the body. So first things first, I will just position it so the arm is sort of from the top arm down to the elbow, it's more or less straight, and then it just comes over and it's right on to the very top of where that little shoulder seam is. So I'm going to pop that on there. I'm going to pop in 3 little pins, just hold it in place, and then I'm going to mattress stitch just along the top area here to start with. Then I'm going to flip the arm up and do underneath, and then I'm going to go around a second time. So the needle's coming out of the arm, so your first stitch is going into your body. Pick up a little bit of fabric and then go parallel back up into the arm, and then parallel back down into the body. Parallel back up into the arm, and now down into the body. And just keep working your way along there like that, picking up a very small little stitch each time from the body and parallel up into the arm. Keep those 3 little pins in there just to help keep the arm in place. And you're going above the seam of the shoulder seam on the arm, so you're actually sort of hiding that seam inside, so you're not going to see that seam. Just move that around a little bit. So we're coming to the outside edge now, so I'm going to do another little stitch in the body, 1 more stitch in the arm, and last stitch back into the body. And then when I've done that stitch and my thread is now in the body, I'm going to take those pins out. I'm going to flip her arm up, I'm going to turn her around, and I'm going to continue to sew under the arm. Now my thread is coming out of the body, so my next stitch is in the arm. Next stitch in the body, parallel up into the arm, And we're just going to work all the way around this underarm section. And then when I get to the edge of that underarm, I'm going to turn the arm back over and I'm going to continue to go around the top again, flip the arm up and continue to come round the underside again. Okay, I've been round twice, so I'm just coming back now for the second time, and I just come back to that side seam on the body, and that's where I'm just going to fasten off my thread with 3 little stitches, and then I will sink that tail. Give it a snip. So there you have the first arm sewn on. So you can see the graduation from that shoulder coming down into the top of the arm is nice and slight. So there we have both arms sewn on, and as you can see we've got a nice transition from the shoulder coming down into the top of the arm. So it's a nice slight curve. Okay, if we'd have put a lot of stuffing in the top of the arm there, she would have ended up with a bit of a chunky effect in this area, and again you might have had problems with the sleeve fittings on the outfits. So do bear that in mind when you're putting your arms together and stuff, keeping it really light in that top area there. Okay, so onwards to my next video, and I'm going to be showing you how to embroider the eyes and the mouth. So thank you for watching, my lovelies, and I'll see you again soon. See you later.